Anyway, my little brother called me right now, so it cut me off. But basically what I was saying is you've backed them into a wall. Trust what the movement has done. It's forced the NFL to do things differently. It's forced them to give you this opportunity. So as to where if none of this would have happened and they would have given you this job, then this interview, then I could have said, okay, yeah, we have no reason to trust him. But you don't have to trust them. Trust the position that they found themselves in. That's what I would say to a guy like Colin Kaepernick. They have to give you a fair shot because they look shitty, and they've looked shitty for a long time. And this Jay-Z thing didn't work. It did not work. Okay? So now they have to give you a shot, and they're ready to give you a job. But you just gave them ammunition to not give you a job without even having to mention your politics because you've been insubordinate. So that's how I feel. It's just like anything else. When people say, "Oh, do you trust that person?" I trust them to be themselves. I trust that they're in a position where their back's against the wall and they got to do what they got to do now. If you recognize what you're up against and you understand the position they're in, then you knew they were going to give you a real shot at the football, getting in football. They had to. It's the way I see it. I don't know who's in Colin Kaepernick's ear telling him not to trust that workout situation, telling him that they weren't doing it the right way or whatever. Who knows? But at the end of the day, I think he had an opportunity to be both, but he was afraid of selling out. But the selling out starts when you're trying to get back into football to begin with, little brother. That's what I tell him. Honestly, it doesn't start with you getting an interview and then turning around and saying, "Nah, here's my fist. I'm black man number one." No. It's the selling out is when they blackball you, pay you to stay away, keep you silent through that payment, and then you turn around and take an interview from them. Yeah, no, the damage is already done in that regard, bro. And that's why I say to Colin Kaepernick, I respect what you stand for now, how you do things, but it just seems to me that the man has a lot of growing up to do. Just flat out growing up to do. He's still a young man. I think was he even 30 yet? He's a young man. And he doesn't understand what the sacrifices are, even to this very second. The sacrifices are to what it is he's become. Some people have to give their lives for being the symbol that you are. You're not even ready to give up your career. Men have given up their lives, bro. Shot down, dead for being what you're trying to be. And that's why you have so many people that do support you, but at the same time, the people like myself who support you, but only to a distance, to a certain extent, because it's like you don't appear to be prepared as you need to be for what it is that you are. There's a sacrifice that comes with that, sacrifice, and you got to understand also. This is going to continue, you know what I mean? People are going to look at you as this way for the rest of your life. They're going to look at you as the black leader of this generation for the rest of your life. But you can ruin that too with this NFL bullshit. Trying to continue to get into the NFL and then not really trying to get in the NFL, but kind of trying to get in the NFL, but not really that. No. And when you sign that paperwork, I'll tell you the truth. When you signed that paperwork, when you said whatever you were paid to not say anything about the blackballing, when you signed that for people like myself is a red flag. They should not have ever been able to silence you in regards to being blackballed. That should have never happened. We should have known how much you made in that situation, and we should have known to what extent you were blackballed, unless there's something to hide on your end, bro. And that's why it's hard for me to fully trust it. I'm 35 years of age, man. It's kind of hard to trick me. You know what I mean? In certain areas, I know I'm naive in some areas, but not in this one. You know what I mean? I know what my spirit says, and like I said, this has become something greater than you intended it to be. But that's my take on Colin Kaepernick. I have said it before, and I'll say it again. I respect what he has going on. I respect what he's doing for our people. I definitely respect what he's standing for, what he's kneeling for. And I appreciate it. I truly do. Because whether he meant what he meant or not, standing up for something and saying this is what it is, shine a light on the cause. And the cause is more than necessary, regardless of what anyone's intentions are. Speaking on the cause and bringing light to the cause is what it's all about. We want people to stop being shot in the streets. We want to be given a fair shot in these streets. We want justice to come to those who have already been shot in these streets. And we've seen situations where that just hasn't happened. Justice just hasn't come. So for that, Colin will always get respect here. But the man himself, the spirit behind what he's doing, can't toe the line, bro. You can't walk that fine line of I'm all the way in, but I kind of want to be out here too. Can't do it. Can't do it. It doesn't work. Which that's what it's all it is. That's what I'm saying. It just does not work. Stephen A. Smith, you know, what can I say? Max Kellerman, thank you for taking the stance that you've taken. I understand where Stephen A. Smith is coming from in regards to you're a white person, so it's very easy for you to tell us what we should be doing because the consequences don't fall on you when those should be doing tactics don't work. I understand that. I truly do. Stephen A. was right about that to a degree. But even when those tactics don't work and you lose your job, that's where the faith comes in. That's when you realize that you have a whole community of people behind you who will help you get back on your feet. You stand on your morals because you're not alone. That's the difference between Stephen A. Smith. He gonna feel alone in this. That's why his face so long when he's seeing people like T.O. say he looked less black than Max Kellerman or something like that. Your face is long because you stand alone. When you don't have faith in yourself and you don't have faith in your people, you tote the company mind, you roll with the white supremacy, and you be by your damn self because white people don't respect you because you ain't nothing but a worker to them and you don't even respect your own people. And black people won't respect you because they don't see the love for yourself and for your people that we see in others. You don't have that faith in us that you'll put that check aside to know that we'll have your back. Put that check aside and know that we'll support you. You don't need them, is what black people essentially want you to understand. You don't need them. It's your fear that's making you continue to stay in these situations where you continue to do all this and point at the black man. You need to do that and then be kind of nice to the white guy. That stuff is a lack of faith that's fear-based. And there's no room for fear in a movement like this. That's what it really comes down to. But anyway, I've said enough and more than that. And, again, I'm sitting in my apartment with no success over here. So you can only take what I'm saying from where it's coming from, which is a person who is yet to get to where he needs to be. But at the same time, I'm an observer. I'm an analyzer. I'm a thinker, and I watch things. And I've watched things happen a long time all my life. And this is no different than any other situation. When you're dealing with the black community, there's two things you have to realize. It's a lot of pressure, and you got to have faith. You got to have faith because we're growing, we're getting stronger, we're getting smarter, and our culture has always been important, especially in this country. They can't do this without us. They wouldn't have built this thing without us, and it ain't going to continue without us. If we all leave this mug, it's gone. They can't keep it up. And that's the truth, but you got to believe it. So keep striving, black people. Keep striving, brown people. Keep doing what you do. White folks, if you stand with us like Max Kellerman or you appear to stand with us, put your money where your mouth is. I ain't telling you to put your privilege aside, but definitely recognize what it is. And continue to use your voice to try to bring light to the injustices that are taking place with our people. And you'll have our respect. You'll be at the cookouts right next to Max. And that's a good place to be, I guarantee it. Because the world is changing. And racism is trash. Supremacy is trash. BDF.